Google Maps has become a portal to explore our planet like never before, uncovering hidden treasures and peculiarities that often go unnoticed. From mysterious patterns etched into the Earth to strangely out-of-place structures, the digital cartography of Google Maps has unveiled an array of bizarre locations that defy explanations. So join me, we're going to count down the top 15 most bizarre locations on Google Maps. Starting with number 15, the Boneyard. What used to be a small airfield and training base for the United States during World War II has become not only an important airport for Army parachute teams, but also houses some pretty impressive retired aircraft. The aircraft are all in states of disarray and will never fly again. It's known as an aircraft boneyard, and at any given time you can find some retired DC-10s, 727s, 37s, 47s, and even a Korean Air A300. The boneyard is where many enormous planes go to become rust buckets once they've been retired. But when a new plane arrives, the first thing to go are the jet engines, which can easily sell for more than $2 million. The boneyard belongs to an aircraft salvage company owned by Harold Jenkins Caldwell Sr. The story says he was once in a restaurant and noticed a part of the building was constructed using an old U.S. Army C-54 fuselage. He was so taken by the piece of aircraft that he bought the airframe and removed it from the building. Over the years, he began buying and collecting more and more parts, and then eventually full aircraft, selling the used parts to commercial airliners. So you never know, the next time you fly to a family reunion, the plane might just be made out of Caldwell's used parts. Number 14. The Gobi Lines. Spanning across northern China and southern Mongolia, the Gobi Desert is a vast landscape that boasts plenty of natural patterns. But there's one section that has left the rest of us kind of baffled for years. There are lines that seem to be quite literally drawn in the sand, that are a little too perfect to be the work of Mother Nature. These bizarre lines have been called the Nazca Lines of the East. These geoglyphs, known as Gobi Lines, are immense and intricate patterns that only can be fully appreciated from the air. Some of them measure hundreds of meters in length and feature geometric shapes, animals, and abstract designs. Their origin and purpose remain a subject of debate and mystery. On the China side of the desert, there are these mysterious structures surrounded by even weirder patterns that seem to be etched into the landscape itself. And while these markings zig this way and zag that way in an array of random chaos, they still exist within a perfect triangle, which definitely raises as many questions as it does eyebrows. However, some experts agree that these structures are part of a secret Chinese military base that is used for everything from weapons testing to radar instrument tests. As for the funky formation of these white lines, well, those are used to help with spy satellite calibration. So when the satellites in space see that image down below, they know exactly where in the world they are. And just what exactly are these 65-foot wide lines made of? Well, something as simple as dust or chalk. Number 13. Edinburgh's Sunken Plain. Some images on Google Earth are just too good to be true. So is this next entry one of them? If you go poking around the waters just off the coast of Edinburgh in Scotland, you'll find something pretty bizarre lurking in the waters. It's not Nessie or a secret underwater base. Instead, what you're looking at is a massive commercial airplane, and it's perfectly intact too. Which is strange, because you'd think that if an airplane crashed into the water, it would be at least missing a few pieces, right? But not this one, and even more bizarrely, if you check the records, there's no mention of a plane crash here. So then are they covering things up? And wouldn't the locals know a thing or two about it? And it turns out that Edinburgh's sunken plane isn't sunken at all. Quite the opposite, actually. Google Earth managed to snap this photo while the plane was flying overhead. And in order to get the sharpest, best quality image possible, their algorithm went ahead and morphed the airplane's shadow to match the water. Simply put, Google Earth doesn't want any airplanes in its shots, and the technology does what it can to get rid of them, oftentimes simply masking them as clouds. Number 12. Antarctica UFO. People love UFOs. It's likely that we'll never know the truth behind the majority of the sightings, but that's clearly not stopping anyone. Simply put, they're fun to think about. In 2012, an anomaly was spotted by Google Earth's users in Antarctica's Queen Alexandra Range. It appeared as a dark triangular shape protruding from the ice and was immediately dubbed a crashed UFO or a pyramid by some observers. The discovery quickly gained attention in UFO enthusiast circles and sparked debates about its origin and nature. Proponents of the UFO theory suggested that the triangular shape was evidence of an extraterrestrial spacecraft that had crashed in Antarctica. They argued that the location's remoteness made it an ideal hiding place for such discoveries. Some even speculated about government cover-ups and secret investigations related to the alleged crash. However, experts and scientists offered more grounded explanations. Many geologists and glaciologists suggested that the triangular shape could be natural geological formations, possibly a nunatak or a mountain peak that had been exposed as the surrounding ice and snow melted or eroded over time. They pointed out that satellite imagery can sometimes create optical illusions due to the limitations of perspective and lighting conditions. In the absence of concrete evidence, the scientific community largely dismissed the notion of a crashed UFO in Antarctica, chalking it up to the climate's effects on geological features. Number 11. Soviet Concordski. The Tu-144 supersonic passenger jet, often referred to as the Concordski due to its similarities with the British and French Concorde airliners, is a fascinating relic of aviation history that provides insight into the Cold War-era race for supersonic passenger travel. But in the late 1960s, in a response to the Concorde, the Tu-144 represented the Soviet Union's ambition to create a passenger jet that could match the speed and prestige of military aircraft. At the height of the project, the Tu-144 was poised to become a symbol of Soviet engineering prowess. However, its journey took a significant setback in 1973 when a prototype crashed during an air show, resulting in the tragic loss of several lives. This incident cast a shadow over the program and led to a considerable slowdown in its development. Despite the massive investment of billions of dollars and years of research and development, the Tu-144 project eventually faced cancellation, especially with the geopolitical changes surrounding the fall of the Soviet Union. The few units that were built were scrapped for parts, except for one. A Tu-144 was discovered in 2014 in the back of a military base close to the airport in the city of Kazan, and much to everyone's surprise, it was still in pretty good condition, all things considered. It has some signs of natural wear and tear and the rust that comes with exposure to the elements, but overall, the supersonic passenger jet is still in one piece. The jet's almost 66 meters in length with a wingspan close to 29 meters, and still somehow managed to hide in the base's backyard until Google Earth caught a glimpse of it. Number 10. Azraq Oasis wheels. Ancient civilizations really seem to be in tune with the Earth and nature, and the next bizarre sight from Google Earth is living proof. The Azraq Oasis wheels, also known as the Azraq Wetland Reserve wheels, are extraordinary archaeological discoveries found in the heart of the Azraq Oasis in Jordan. These ancient stone structures, believed to date back to prehistoric times, hold significant historical and cultural importance, shedding light on the resourceful ingenuity of early human civilizations in arid environments. Azraq Oasis, situated in the arid eastern desert of Jordan, has long been a vital water source in an otherwise parched landscape. It served as a critical oasis along ancient trade routes, including the Silk Road, connecting the Arabian Peninsula with the Levant. The oasis, with its lush vegetation and reliable water supply, attracted both humans and wildlife for millennia. The oasis wheels were first documented and researched in the 1920s by British archaeologist and explorer T.E. Lawrence, famously known as Lawrence of Arabia. Lawrence recognized the historical and cultural significance of these stone structures and their role in the region's water management. The Azraq Oasis wheels are composed of massive stone rings, some of which are up to 260 feet in diameter, and all of which are best viewed from above. These circular structures are thought to have functioned as water wheels, although their precise mechanism remains a subject of study and debate. The wheels may have been manually operated by people or powered by animal traction, drawing water from the oasis's underground springs and channels. These ancient structures were essential for agriculture and sustaining human settlements in the otherwise challenging desert environment. They allowed the local population to harness and distribute water efficiently for irrigation, supporting the cultivation of crops and the development of thriving communities. Number 9. Hriainen Kansa. Over 1,000 figures, collectively known as the Silent People, stand like a stoic army in a field adjacent to Highway 5 near Suomussalmi in Finland. These peculiar figures, with their faceless heads turned in unison towards a common direction, evoke a striking blend of emotions in those who chance upon them while passing along the road. Their appearance can either induce a sense of whimsy or elicit a profound sense of unease. The silent people are constructed from an array of materials, featuring peat heads adorned with straw hair and simple wooden bodies draped in a vibrant, ever-changing clothing. These colorful garments, which are replaced twice a year, flutter in the wind, adding an eerie liveliness to the otherwise stationary figures. This interplay between stillness and motion heightens the intrigue of this installation. The history of the silent people is as mysterious as their purpose. They are the brainchild of Finnish artist Reijo Kela, who first introduced them to the world. Initially, these figures stood in a field near Lasila, a town near Helsinki. Later in 1994, they occupied the bustling marketplace of Helsinki's Senate Square. Subsequently, they found their way to the tranquil expanse beside Highway 5, becoming a source of endless curiosity for passing travelers. One of the most compelling aspects of the silent people is the ambiguity that surrounds their meaning. Reijo Kela, the artist behind this installation, has intentionally refrained from providing any explanation or interpretation of his creation. Instead, he encourages viewers to rely on their own perceptions and emotions to derive meaning from the figures. For many, the silent people evoke a sense of melancholy and disquiet, as if they're a silent testament to a forgotten populace. A widely held theory speculates that these figures symbolize those who were lost during the harsh Winter War of 1939–40, a tumultuous conflict between the Finns and Soviet Russia that unfolded in the vicinity. Number 8. Aguada Phoenix. Aguada Phoenix, an ancient Maya ceremonial complex located deep within the jungles of Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, is a site of extraordinary historical significance and bizarre characteristics. Unveiled through LiDAR technology in recent years, this archaeological wonder challenges conventional perceptions of Maya civilizations in several ways. What makes Aguada Phoenix truly bizarre is its sheer scale. Covering an approximate area of 1,700 acres, it dwarfs even the colossal pyramids of Tikal, another renowned Mayan site. Its structure, an elevated platform or pyramid-like structure, stretches for over 4,000 feet in length, making it one of the longest man-made structures in the ancient world. To put this into perspective, it's longer than the Great Pyramid of Giza. The scale and organization here are unlike anything previously discovered within the Mayan civilization. Its sheer size and the advanced engineering required to build it challenge our traditional beliefs about Mayan society. It suggests a level of centralization, collaboration, and societal complexity that was previously underestimated. On top of that, the site's age is a significant anomaly. Aguada Phoenix is estimated to have been constructed around 1000 BCE, predating other prominent Mayan sites like Tikal and Calakmul by several centuries. This discovery has raised questions about the origins and evolution of the Mayan civilization, pushing back its recognized beginnings significantly. The site's purpose is another enigma. Unlike many other Maya temples and pyramids that were primarily associated with religious or burial functions, Aguada Phoenix lacks hieroglyphic inscriptions or clear evidence of tombs. Its use remains a subject of debate among archaeologists. Some propose it was a site for communal gatherings and rituals, or as an ancient astronomical observatory. At the end of the day, the only people who really know the truth are the people who were there in Aguada Phoenix. The precise manner in which the Mayan engineered such a vast complex in this swampy region is also peculiar. They constructed a system of raised causeways, channels, and reservoirs to manage water and facilitate construction, showcasing the mysteries of their engineering ingenuity. It's the type of place that, when scrolling around on Google Maps, simply shouldn't exist, and yet there it is, clear as day. The site challenges much of what we know about the Mayan civilization. And while finding answers can be fun, it's the bizarre reality that often keeps us going. Number 7. The Pigeon people of Japan. Google Maps and Google Earth are, for better or worse, filled with some pretty weird stuff. As we've seen so far, they can show off some pretty elaborate hoaxes or stellar relics of the past. But some images seem to exist just outside the realm of the ordinary. Case in point, the Pigeon people of Japan. Just what on Google Earth is going on here? Are these fantastic yet horrifying yokai of Japanese folklore? Is this a bizarre cult exacting their will upon the masses? Thankfully, the answer is as simple as it is harmless and maybe even a little fun. The Pigeon people of Japan are essentially a flash mob. The photo was taken on a sidewalk along the Tamagawa Josui, which is a tiny channel in the Musashino district of West Tokyo. Apparently, there's also an art school there, Musashino Art University, which explains a lot about this. Just about every budding art school student has a rubber animal mask to use in all their weird films, so it probably wasn't too hard to get a bunch of people with the same mask together. It seems as though the art students know that Google Map cameras would be driving through their neighborhood, and they managed to be at the right place at the right time. Is this one of the creepiest, most bizarre sightings on Google Maps? Maybe. But is this one of the funniest, if not most bizarre things the internet has ever seen? Absolutely. And even if those students are laughing hysterically underneath those masks, well, the world will never know. All that matters is that cold pigeon stare. Number 6. Pripyat, Ukraine. Pripyat, Ukraine, is a city forever etched in history due to its proximity to the Chernobyl nuclear power plant and the catastrophic nuclear disaster that unfolded there in April of 1986. Once a thriving and vibrant urban center, Pripyat now stands as a haunting reminder of the consequences of nuclear catastrophe and the impact of human error on the environment. Pripyat was founded in 1970 as a purpose-built city to house the workers and their families from the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. It was located only a few kilometers away from the plant, making it a convenient home for the thousands of people employed there. The city had modern amenities, including schools, hospitals, parks, and recreational facilities. It was designed to showcase the success and prosperity of the Soviet Union. But on April 26, 1986, the Chernobyl nuclear power plant experienced a catastrophic reactor meltdown, leading to a massive release of radioactive materials into the atmosphere. Pripyat, being the closest residential area to the plant, bore the brunt of the disaster. In the immediate aftermath of the explosion, residents were evacuated and the city was abandoned. Today, Pripyat stands as a ghost town, frozen in time. Its buildings, streets, and infrastructure remain remarkably well preserved due to the sudden and unplanned nature of its abandonment. The city's structures, once vibrant and filled with life, are now empty and deteriorating. The city's appearance is eerie and unsettling. Apartment buildings, schools, and cultural centers remain intact, yet empty. Nature has started to reclaim the urban landscape, with trees and vegetation gradually overtaking the streets and buildings. Peeling paint, cracked walls, and decaying structures stand as poignant reminders of the passage of time. Pripyat remains highly contaminated with radioactive materials, making it unsafe for human habitation. Radiation levels in the city and surrounding areas are still elevated, posing significant health risks to those who enter without proper protection. As a result, Pripyat is considered one of the most radioactive places on Earth. Number 5. Nagoro Village. Despite being home to more than 125 million people and a population density of 83 people per square mile, Japan's population is in decline. The birth rate is becoming lower and lower, which means more remote reaches of the country are becoming more desolate as time moves on. The tiny village of Nagoro is a strange place that's home to more dolls than people. And not small Barbie dolls either, life-size dolls that outnumber the human population 10 to 1. The dolls are the work of Tsukimi Ayano, a local artist who began diving into the uncanny valley, creating dolls to replicate all of her neighbors who either died or moved away over the years. So now her new neighbors can be found all over town, doing everything from fishing on the riverbank to sitting on benches. And there's even a schoolhouse full of doll students and teachers. And while Ayano's work and devotion to her craft are pretty stunning, one can't deny the overall creepy factor. Imagine visiting a village without knowing what you're getting yourself into. Imagine walking around here at night, unable to tell who is real and who isn't. It's the type of place where asking your neighbor for a cup of sugar is a gamble. As of 2020, there were just 37 living, breathing denizens of Nagoro, with the youngest being 50 years old, meaning about 350 dolls are living among them. The terrifying feature has helped the village earn the nickname Scarecrow Village. But all of this begs the question, what will happen when Tsukimi Ayano and her neighbors pass away? When that day finally comes, don't be surprised to find one of these dolls in her image sitting in her home. Number 4. Mesa Huerfanita Diamonds. Deep within the mountains of New Mexico, an underground storage vault has become the subject of intrigue, rumors, and even sci-fi tales, as it's been linked to Scientology and dubbed a space alien cathedral. But this mysterious facility, known as the Trementina Base, has a far more earthly purpose and a history that predates the recent spotlight. Oddly, located approximately 200 miles north of Roswell, the Trementina base is far from your typical storage site. It features an airstrip and two massive symbols, one circular and the other diamond-shaped, carved into a neighboring mountain. While some speculate about extraterrestrial connections, the truth is more prosaic. The Church of Scientology, a religious organization with unique beliefs, has long used this facility for the preservation of L. Ron Hubbard's writings and lectures. It's essentially an archival storage site, similar to other religious faiths' genealogical archives or the Vatican archives. The circular and diamond symbols, contrary to fantastical interpretations, serve a practical purpose. Given the remote location, they act as markers to help pilots locate the facility from the air. This is a common practice among major corporations as well. The notion that these symbols guide church leaders to Hubbard's works after a nuclear Armageddon wipes out humanity, as suggested by some sources, is dismissed by the church as fiction. While Scientology has its fair share of unconventional beliefs, such as the involvement of extraterrestrial civilizations in human history, the Trementina base primarily serves as a repository of religious texts and materials. Despite plenty of media attention, the links between the base and a Scientology-affiliated organization have been known for decades. The symbols on the mountains were trademarked by the Church of Spiritual Technology, an autonomous church established to archive and preserve Scientology scriptures. The CST has meticulously stored Hubbard's works in titanium capsules within calamity-proof vaults, ensuring their timeless preservation. And plenty of people have tried to get in here to see what's what, but despite reaching a locked steel gate monitored by security cameras, requests for tours will always go unanswered, leaving the rest of us to ponder the enigmatic nature of Space Alien Cathedral, associated with a religion that sparks all sorts of feelings and conspiracy theories. Number 3. The Soviet Pentacle. Conspiracy theorists unite because the next entry on our list is a good one. On the wind-blown steppes of Central Asia, in an isolated corner of Kazakhstan, there's a large pentagram etched into the Earth's surface. And now an archaeologist has revealed the source of the mysterious structure. The five-pointed star surrounded by a circle located on the southern shore of the Upper Tobol Reservoir shows up vividly on Google Maps. There's almost no other signs of human habitation in the area. The closest settlement is the city of Lysakovsk, about 12 miles to the east. The region surrounding Lysakovsk is riddled with ancient archaeological ruins. Bronze Age settlements, cemeteries, and burial grounds, many of which have yet to be explored, dot the windswept landscape. What is this bizarre symbol, measuring roughly 1,200 feet in diameter, doing on the side of a desolate lake in northern Kazakhstan? Well, naturally, many online comments have already linked this site with esoteric groups. It certainly doesn't help that upon zooming into the center of the pentagram, viewers will see two places highlighted by previous visitors to Google Maps. One spot is called Adam, the other Lucifer, a name often linked to Satan. The pentagram, or pentacle, is an ancient symbol used by many cultures and religious groups for centuries. It's been adopted by the Mesopotamians, Pythagoreans, Christians, Freemasons, and Wiccans. Though it's difficult to discern from an aerial photograph exactly what the Kazakh pentagram is, Emma Yuzmanova, an archaeologist with years of experience working in the area, has an answer. According to Yuzmanova, the pentacle is simply the outline of a park made in the shape of a star. The star was a popular symbol during the Soviet era and was often used throughout Soviet Union to decorate building facades, flags, and monuments. The star in the Soviet-era lakeside park is marked by roadways that are now lined with trees, which make the star shape even more distinct in aerial photos. It is a very simple explanation for one of the most bizarre finds on Google Maps. Number 2. The Red Lake, Iraq. The Earth is a planet adorned in an array of natural colors, from the lush greens of its forests to the rich browns of its fertile soil. The deep blues of its oceans and lakes are iconic, mirroring the vastness of its waters. Yet hidden amidst the planet's more typical hues, there exists a peculiar anomaly that defies expectations and invites intrigue. A startlingly bright red lake near Sadr City in Iraq. This crimson body of water has captivated the curious minds of observers, igniting discussions, debates, and inevitably an assortment of macabre theories. The story of this enigmatic lake began to unfold in 2007 when Google Earth users, scouring the virtual globe, stumbled upon this blood-red aberration. Its striking appearance defied the conventional color palette of natural water bodies, immediately raising questions and inspiring wild conjectures. Among the prevailing theories, one particularly grim hypothesis suggested that the lake's vivid hue was a result of actual blood runoff from a nearby slaughterhouse. This morbid explanation quickly gained traction as many contemplated the grim possibility that the slaughterhouse's waste had found its way into the surrounding canals, tainting the lake with its grisly contents. However, the quest for an unequivocal explanation for this crimson enigma has proved elusive. The reality behind this startling phenomenon remains shrouded in uncertainty, prompting an open-ended exploration of possibilities. While the notion of slaughterhouse runoff is a grim one, the actual case of the lake's vivid red hue may be equally unsettling. Some alternative theories suggest that the lake's unusual coloration may be attributed to sewage, industrial pollution, or even runoff from water treatment processes. These explanations, while less gruesome, underscore the pressing environmental concerns that pervade our modern world. The lake's profound peculiarity and the lack of definitive answers have rendered it even more of a compelling subject of study and discussion. The multiple-choice nature of its origin has fueled speculation, with observers left to select the explanation that resonates most strongly with them. Nevertheless, regardless of the cause, the blood-red lake near Sadar City remains a surreal and eerie sight to behold. Its vibrant crimson hue stands in stark contrast to the Earth's more conventional colors, creating a visual spectacle that challenges our understanding of the natural world. While some may opt to delve into the unsettling theories surrounding its origins, others may prefer to marvel at this enigmatic place from a respectful distance. Number 1. Desert Breath. When viewed from above, the desert breath is an astonishing and perplexing sight. Is this left by aliens or perhaps the relic of a long-forgotten civilization? Well, the answer is far more grounded in reality. This colossal land art installation, nestled within the vast expanse of the Eastern Sahara Desert, resembles something out of a science fiction novel or an alien landscape. From a bird's-eye perspective, it is a striking enigma etched upon the canvas of the Earth, captivating everyone who lays their eyes upon it. The desert breath's strangeness is immediately apparent as one gazes upon these intricate patterns etched into the desert floor. Hundreds of conical forms, meticulously arranged in spiraling patterns, dominate the landscape, contrasting sharply with the monotonous backdrop of endless sand dunes. The precision of their arrangement is both mesmerizing and surreal, evoking a sense of geometric perfection that defies the organic chaos of a desert. Yet it's not only the symmetrical arrangement of the cones that baffles the observer. Two colossal conical depressions, one filled with water and the other empty, stand as sentinels at the center of this desert masterpiece. As one approaches the desert breath, curiosity transforms into a sense of awe and wonder. What initially appeared strange and alien begins to reveal its purpose and meaning. The installation's creators, the DAST art team, envisioned it as an exploration of the passage of time and the ephemeral nature of human existence. The spiraling cones resemble a massive fingerprint, symbolizing humanity's indelible mark upon the world. The two conical depressions represent the opposing forces of creation and erosion, life and death. The empty conical depressions symbolize that inevitable erosion and decay that all life experiences, while the one filled with water signifies the renewal and rebirth that can emerge from the passage of time. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you to our channel members.